I had a client in the other day who was saying that she'd been encouraging her partner to open up, to really talk about his feelings. And but then when he did, she didn't like what he said and was then thinking, well, I can't have asked him to do this. I can't then say that all his feelings are rubbish or I don't agree or I think they're bigoted or whatever, because then he's going to get really upset. So she tried to do it tactfully, but ended up by saying it anyway. And of course, the result was he said, well, you asked me to open up, and what you're saying, these are what I actually feel. And what you're saying is that you are not accepting me because this is me. So we've got to be quite careful about this. So it's lovely to be able to really communicate and feel confident enough in the love and the support of our partner that we can be our authentic self with them, that we can bring who we truly are and know that that will be accepted. But it's a bit like having kids. When your kids are growing up, you love them to bits, absolutely unconditionally, but you don't always like what they do, especially when they're teenagers sometimes. And that whole feeling of you don't have to like what somebody thinks or believes, or sometimes what they do, to love them. And it's allowing that difference of opinion. So when we love a person, we love the whole person. We don't necessarily have to always like some aspects of them, just as they won't like some aspects of us. And again, we can't be precious about that. But I want you to like all of me. That's not going to happen. There will be fragments of our personality or the things we do. We might, I don't know, leave the tea towels on the table rather than hanging them up, or leave a cupboard door open, and it really annoys them. And these little things of living with another person can be quite frustrating. And they're going to be as frustrated by us as we are by them. So it's learning to look at these little foibles in people and almost learn to laugh at them. There he goes again, there she goes again. This is what I expected. And you just smile at it and let it go. I like to think of this, whole, is this a first world problem or a third world problem? Is this me being picky and it would be nice to have, but it's not really crucial? Or is this actually a deal breaker? And when you're wanting somebody to open up and really express themselves, our job is just to hear them, to be there, to listen, to try and understand. Even if we don't like what we're saying, we've asked them to be open, we've asked them to communicate. So we have to understand where that communication comes from, all the aspects of their life that have brought them to that moment, to that belief, to what they're saying at that time. And maybe at a later stage, if we feel it needs more discussion, we can maybe bring it up and talk about it at a later stage. But at that moment when they're communicating to us, it's a case of holding that space so that they can be real, they can feel heard, in the hopes that they will also do that for us. And agreement at that point isn't necessary. We can agree to disagree. And that's actually, if you've got children in the mix as well, that's really healthy. I think it's an incredibly healthy environment for children to grow up into an atmosphere of discussion, because it means then that they can become independent people, independent thinkers themselves, and they can decide, well, I might agree with this person more on that side and that person more on that one, and I'll come to my own conclusions. To me, that's a much healthier way than having two parents who are always on the same page, because then what you've got is an indoctrinated child. So I think this allowing each other to express your true selves without judgment, just being heard and having open discussions, and sometimes agreeing to disagree, and it not affecting how you feel about the person, I think that can be really healthy.